What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cam Show. Shout out to my Notre Dame Fighting Irish getting a big win last night, 27-24. I know it. I knew Notre Dame was going to win this game. It was so sweaty. Notre Dame was down 3-10 at half. It took a full team effort to win this game. It really did. And we look at Penn State. They just play like it's 1999. They like to run the ball a lot. Their quarterback only threw for 135 yards, and obviously he threw that pick on the last drive to lose the game. Shout out to Christian Gray, game-saving interception to seal the deal for Notre Dame. And then we had our field goal kicker, Mitch Jeter, hit the game-winning field goal. Shout out to Mitch Jeter. In the regular season, he was 6 of 12, 50%. Come playoff time, he is 7 for 8 from field goal. I love it, dude. It took a full team effort for Notre Dame. And we look at Riley Leonard, the quarterback for Notre Dame. He really had a bad game. He threw for 2 interceptions, and one of the picks was just like, bro, he should have never threw that ball. He should have just ran it. But looking at that in hindsight, it's like, man, we were lucky to get this win. Me being a diehard Notre Dame fan, I understand that. I'm super lucky to get this win. I mean, let's be honest here. Penn State played the better game up until the last moments. In the whole second half, we just flipped the script. Down 3-10, we go down the field. Jeremiah Love takes over 45 yards and a touchdown. Jeremiah Love's touchdown on the 2-yard line was crazy. He had like 3 guys on him. Just the will to never give up, stretch out the ball, and that was to take the lead right there. But Jeremiah Love, man, he's the X factor. I always tell all the Notre Dame fans out there that he's our best player on the team. 100%. Jeremiah Love is that type of guy. He has that talent. I'm telling you, this time next year, he's going to be in the Heisman voting. Yes, Jeremiah Love, and he hurdled some guy last night. It was just, and he has a bad knee right now. Kind of tweaked his knee against USC earlier this year, and then really took over. And then he got hurt in the IU game. But overall, it was a full team effort. Mitchell Evans, the tight end, 58 yards receiving. It was great. It was amazing. And then you had Jaden Greathouse, 7 receptions, 105 yards receiving, and a touchdown. And we saw that. He just broke off the defenders. He really did. And he broke off that safety so nice. He just hit the little quick step juke and then took it off for a touchdown. It was easy. But I have to give credit to Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame's defense. When it was all said and done, Notre Dame's defense stepped it up. And that's what they needed to do. They stepped it up when the time was just really against them. And we look at Penn State, their running back, Nicholas Singleton, rushed for 84 yards and 3 touchdowns. 3. He did a 3-piece, but he still lost the game. I mean, shout to Singleton. We'll see him playing on Sundays. And also their star tight end, Tyler Warren, 75 yards receiving. But, there were some calls in this game where I'm just like, yep, Vegas wants Penn State to win. And there was a throw that Drew Aller threw to Tyler Warren in the end zone. He was triple coveraged. And they called a PI call, and it was a pick. And Jack Kaiser picked it off. 6-year senior picked it off, and they called it back. And it's just like, come on, bro. It wasn't just a ticky-tack. It was a 50-50 call. Obviously, they're going to lean more towards Penn State to make this a game. They go up 7 in the 4th, and then Notre Dame battles back, ties it up 24-24, and the rest is history. And then Drew throws a pick late game. He's just really not a good quarterback. We look at Penn State, like I said, they play like they play in the 90s. The quarterback can't really throw the ball down the field. You guys are a one-dimensional team. I'm looking at the head coach, James Franklin, and being like, yeah, bro, like your record speaks for itself when you play top 10 teams in the country. You just don't win the big games. You don't. But homage to Marcus Freeman, man. Notre Dame snaps a 19-game losing streak against an AP top 10 team when they're trailing at halftime. That is crazy, dude. Marcus Freeman, man, they battled back, battled through adversity. I knew this game would be a little bit sweaty. The line was changing back and forth throughout this whole week before the game started, but it was amazing, man. And Marcus Freeman, dude, he could become the youngest head coach to win a national championship in the last 40 seasons. He's 39 years old. His birthday is today. Happy birthday, Marcus Freeman. What a leader he is. He's changing the whole culture at Notre Dame right now. It's that championship formula culture. It's that nose-gritty defense where I'm going to man you up, and I'm going to man-to-man coverage. That's how Marcus Freeman plays it, and they did great. That was the difference here. And we look at Penn State's receivers, 0 receptions. No receiver on Penn State had 1 reception this game. Not one. Not one. So homage to the cornerbacks for Notre Dame. They stepped it up. It was amazing, dude. It was a full team effort. We look at Marcus Freeman. Everything's coming full circle for him. It really is. He played at Ohio State. He lost in 2 national championship games as a player at Ohio State. 1 to Tim Tebow in Florida, and then he lost to LSU. So, like, we look at Marcus Freeman. If he plays Ohio State, obviously Ohio State's going to be favorite. Ohio State is the most talented team left. I think they're going to beat Texas 100%, but you just never know. But looking at it from talent to talent-wise, yes. You know, I will give them Ohio State has the best talent in the country, 100%. And it starts with Jeremiah Smith, their star receiver, who's only a freshman. And this guy could easily go top 3 this year in the draft, but he's too young to do it, which is crazy, man. But it's amazing. Obviously, he's going to get the bag at Ohio State. Ohio State always produces the best receivers. It's just amazing that Notre Dame locked up Penn State's receivers to 0 receptions. Not 1 reception from Penn State, dude. Like, that's amazing, bro. Like, that's insane to even do that. Like, what is Penn State doing? What are you guys, is this like 1999 football or what, dude? No, this is 2025. You're not going to win a national championship just being a run-heavy team and you cannot throw the ball. You just cannot do it. I mean, we look at Notre Dame. Riley Leonard goes out with a minute to go in the first half, at the end of the first half, and the backup came in. Steve threw for 44 yards, 6 for 7. That was a huge drive. That was a pivotal moment because if Notre Dame does not score on that drive, we're down 10-0 going into half. So the backup coming in looking nice. He looked nice, man. He was locked in a place where college football's changing, where they're going to different places, the NIL deals. Steve stayed at Notre Dame and was like, man, I'm a backup, but he came in firing, and 44 yards was the difference in this game. The backup quarterback came in, man. Shout to Steve, man. What a time, man. But Riley Leonard, 223 yards passing, 1 touchdown, but like I said, 2 interceptions. And Riley Leonard, man, there were some questionable plays where I'm just like, he's trying to force it here. You know, Penn State kind of got greedy at the end. They could have just ran it out and went into overtime. But I think Penn State was trying to prove a point there, you know, in a way. But it's just like looking at it from a different perspective. It's probably the smarter play was to just run it, waste the clock out, and go to overtime. You know, in hindsight, we say that, but they were, 50, 60 yards away from a field goal range. So, you know, it works different ways. But Riley Leonard, man, stepped up when we needed him to. He really did. It was great. I mean, he had 18 carries, 35 yards rushing, Riley Leonard. So that was huge. Obviously, Jeremiah Love's, you know, touchdown was just gritty. It was just never giving up on the play. It really never given up, but when we needed it most, we made the plays, and our defense won us this game. And that's why Notre Dame's on a 13-game win streak is strictly because of their defense. It's not because of Riley. Yeah, in a little bit, Riley Leonard, I'll give him homage, but overall, it's the defense that stepped it up. It really is. Christian Gray, game-winning interception. That's what we needed. The same guy who played against USC earlier this year. He picked 6 USC's quarterback, Christian Gray, the same guy, picked it off like 98 yards, pick 6, touchdown. So, like, this isn't anything new for Notre Dame. Notre Dame's about the defense. And like I said, Marcus Freeman coming from Ohio State, he was a linebacker at Ohio State, so he's a defensive-savvy coach. That's what we needed. I just think to win a national championship, if Notre Dame does play Ohio State, it's going to be a hard test. It really is. I just think Riley Leonard's going to have to throw the ball more. We're just going to have to. Ohio State's going to key in on the run game. Ohio State's just so talented right now. They're going to key on the run game, and they're going to have to, you know, make explosive plays down the field. But it took a full team effort. It really did, man. I just love it, dude. I'm kind of still in shock right now just with everything. But you had Jordan Faison. He had 25 yards receiving. Kind of quiet night, really, for Jordan Faison. I still think they should throw a little bit more screens to him. Just get him more involved in the passing game. I would love that overall. But, you know, you had Jaden Thomas. He had 18 yards rushing, another tight end for Notre Dame. It was just great. The special teams came out and played. But who lost them this game? Did Penn State blow it, or did Notre Dame just gritty their way back to a win? I think it was a little bit of both. I think Penn State, you know, we look at their quarterback. He's kind of buns, bro. He really is. He cannot throw the ball down the field. I didn't even see a ball throw for over 20 yards this game. Like, to be honest with you, maybe 1 or 2 throws, but it's like, bro, if you want to win a national championship, you're going to have to throw 30, 40, 50 yards down the field, make explosive plays. Why is Ohio State where they're at? Because they make explosive plays with Jeremiah Smith, and we saw that against Oregon. Like, bro, you're going to have to throw the ball down the field. But in hindsight, Notre Dame got the gritty win. And it was just, it's time, man. It really is. And Lou Holtz, man, just the whole spirit of Notre Dame's behind Marcus Freeman and this Notre Dame football team. And you can't cheat destiny. And I truly believe that Notre Dame can win a national championship. You know, I say it every year, but this is the best opportunity for Notre Dame to do it. It's right here, right now. It really is, dude. I mean, it's amazing. And obviously, the last time Notre Dame was in the national championship, we all remember back in 2013, Manti Te'o, you know, was a Heisman runner-up. All this, they went and played Alabama, and they lost. I think it was 42-14. They just got ran through. They really did. Obviously, it was a bad game for Manti Te'o and everything. It sucked. It really did. And we look at that, the Brian Kelly era, it was good in a way, but in a way it wasn't, because I feel like Brian Kelly was the type of coach that was selfish, that was all about him, but was about the players first. We look at Marcus Freeman, it's about the players first. You know, it's a players culture. He talks to his teammates. He's really in-depth relationship-wise with his players. Brian Kelly doesn't give a crap about his players, dude. He's worried about money. That's why he left Notre Dame without telling anybody to go to LSU. And now he's at LSU. He's not even winning there. So I have no sympathy for Brian Kelly, dude. Like, get out. We didn't need you anyway. Like, yeah, you won over 100 games, you know, whatever, blah, 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 but never won a national championship. You got us to the big game. We always lost the big game. Now Marcus Freeman's on this streak right now where it's like they cannot be stopped. I kind of compare Marcus Freeman to head coach Dan Campbell for the Detroit Lions. He's changing the culture there. He's got that energy. Something's different about him, that his energy's bringing those together. Dan Campbell, we see it. He's the number 1 seed in the NFC in the playoffs now. First round bye. Dan Campbell, I hope Detroit Lions win it this year. Just the spirit of Dan Campbell's awesome, similar to Marcus Freeman. He's just changing that culture at Notre Dame. He really is, man. He's tuned in. He's locked in. Everybody's surrounding him, believing in this dream, believing in the journey, believing ever since the NIU loss back at week 2, they said, hey, we're never going to give up. We're going to keep going. And literally since that loss at week 2, literally every single game was a playoff game for Notre Dame. So they were built for this. They were built for this adversity. They were built to be down 3-10 at halftime, to be down by a touchdown, you know, against all odds. And then you guys are down again in the fourth quarter, 17-24. And then we built back, tied it up. And then we had Christian Gray dive out for an interception. And then we rush it for another 10, 15 yards. And then we have Mitch Jeter hit the game-winning field goal. You know, it just, all these things start to add up. It was just perfect timing for Notre Dame. It was a sweaty game. I was just like, bro, what is going on? I was on my tippy toes all night. Especially, I was kind of stressed out when we went down to 17-24. I was like, oh my gosh, this cannot happen. There's 5 minutes left in the game. What do you know? Jaden Greathouse receives that catch, about 20-yard pass from Riley Leonard. He just makes a move on the safety, scores a touchdown, ties it up, and there's about 4 minutes to go. And it's just like, wait a minute, this is a crazy game. If we make a stop of our lives, we can do it. Even though Notre Dame got the ball back, we're on the 50. We just stall out, get a sack. We have to punt it back to Penn State. Then Penn State eventually throws the pick, and the rest is history, man. It really is. We win the Orange Bowl. It's amazing. Notre Dame, coming into this game, they were favorites. And then leading up to the game, about an hour before the game, there was some speculations where there were some Notre Dame players that had the flu that were sick. So Vegas changed the odds. It was actually Penn State was favored by 1 point about an hour before this game started. So you could have took Notre Dame at +1. Obviously, that hit. You could even give a Penn State fan +2, and that would have hit. So, like, in hindsight, man, Notre Dame money line was the lock pick of the year. It really was. And I told you guys to go Notre Dame. I'm telling you, just the spirit of Notre Dame, the spirit of Lou Holtz. I know Lou Holtz is watching this. You know, Notre Dame hasn't won it since '88, bro. It's been so long. I wasn't even born then. Like, this is just, it's insane, bro. It's like better than a movie. It really is, and I cannot wait. And really, obviously, I want Texas to win, you know, because it's just a better matchup. But, you know, I think head coach Marcus Freeman, being an Ohio State alumni, I think he wants Ohio State. You know, he's 0-2 against Ohio State as a head coach. You know, lost to him back in 2022. 21-10, and then he lost to him last year in 2023, a heartbreaking loss, 17-14. It was just, we were up by 4, and they drove down and scored a touchdown last year, and Notre Dame was wearing their green uniforms and this and that. It just sucks. It really does, and I know Marcus Freeman still feels some type of way about Ohio State losing to them. You know, back-to-back seasons, 0-2 as a head coach against Ohio State. So I can't wait, man. It's probably going to be Ohio State, Notre Dame. That was my prediction from the jump. I just saw it, bro. I just saw it. God gave me that vision, and I'm telling you right now, Notre Dame, it's going to be a tough test. Obviously, Ohio State has the best talent of any roster in college football. They spend over $20 million on their team. Like Ryan Day, you're supposed to be winning these games regardless. So, that's just how it goes. But Notre Dame, Ohio State in the national championship, I think this is going to be one of the best televised events in the past decade. I think there's going to be a lot of viewers watching this game. I think it's going to break records. I really do. There's just a lot of history behind this, just a lot of tradition. I can't wait, man. But the Notre Dame, man, it's our time. It really is. It's our time. Riley Leonard, Marcus Freeman, we're locked in. Our X factor, like I said from the jump, is Jeremiah Love. He is the X factor, the Notre Dame running back. He needs to come in healthy for the championship game. I think we'll be locked in, but take off Notre Dame. Ba 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Notre Dame, man, I love it. I got them to win the national championship. I cannot wait. It's the Clouded with Cavs show. Let's go!